Hey everyone, great show so far. I'm Dan.
And I'm Stefan.
And we are the co-founders of CurrencyTransfer.com. We're building the world's first online marketplace that matches businesses with the most competitive international payment quotes, giving you, the SME, instant trade execution ability in one transparent venue. Now, it's very sad for us that in 2014, business foreign exchange is still a nightmare. The total value of the business cross-border payment space is $21 trillion a year, but most of the importers, exporters, SMEs are losing out due to poor exchange rates, hidden fees, a lack of transparency, and to be honest, confusion reigns. Now, we have a very simple vision. We see a world where business foreign exchange is as simple and as easy as booking a plane ticket online. You can almost think of us as an Expedia or Kayak, but for business payments.
Excellent. So, demo time. We'd like to introduce you to Aviva. And Aviva is a financial director at a big advertising agency. And she sends around £10,000 weekly payments to Spain. So we're going to go through a scenario how she might do that using CurrencyTransfer.com. So as you can see here, she's logged onto her dashboard. She's going to select GBP as the sell currency, Euro as the buy currency. She's going to sell £10,000 to be delivered on the 19th of February. And the reason is salary payments. And she clicks on Get Quotes. And that's it. That's all she has to do, and that's as market savvy as Aviva needs to be in the future to always get the most competitive quotes every single time. And we find this phenomenally exciting for three reasons. For the first time, it gives Aviva transparency, access, and control. And we're going to talk about these 3 points and how they tie into our system. Firstly, transparency. And right in the middle of the screen, after all of her brokers are just bidding to win her business, right in the middle of the screen, we show the market rate. Now, most online platforms don't show this. They hide this rate. They only show you your rate. Here, we make this completely transparent, so she knows the full price transparency of her trades.
Now, if we just take a step back, let's ask, before Aviva had a venue like this, what was she doing? Well, she was transacting with the high street bank, and they were charging her every single week that she'd make these pound to euro payments, £20. But that's not the end of the story. They were also building hidden fees, profit built into the exchange rate of up to £3,000 on every 100,000 that she would transfer abroad. Now, if any of us were to go to a supermarket, there's a price for apples, bananas and pears. You know explicitly what it's costing you there and then. And we think it's crazy that business foreign exchange is actually one of the last areas of financial services where the average importer-exporter pretty much doesn't know what it's costing his bottom line. And it should. And a platform like this solves that issue.
So let's talk about access. If you're a large firm like the BPs, Shells and Adidas of this world, transferring hundreds of millions of dollars annually or per trade, you have access to price feed aggregation platforms such as FXall, 360T or CurrenX. We essentially want to bring that level of access down to the Avivas of this world, the small to medium-sized enterprises, the importers and exporters of this world.
So Aviva, as we know, was getting pretty much stung by the bank, and then she got a tip-off from her mate Vincent, who said, why don't you call around a couple currency brokers for a quote? In theory, they'll be much sharper than going to the bank. So on she did. Every single week, she'd be calling up broker number 1, then broker number 2, broker number 3. She'd be noting the rate on a piece of paper. She'd be jumping on another browser to XC, Bloomberg, to check the real rate. It was all very inefficient. That whole charade would take her up to an hour each week. And at the end of the day, she's at the mercy of currency salesmen who just want to, maximize the value of each transfer. Oh, and one more risk. Aviva actually got to really like one of her brokers. But what happened? Well, we worked out that they were giving her a great rate on day one, only to widen and widen and widen the markups to the point where she was no worse going off to the bank. And again, a platform like this totally eliminates that threat.
Thank you. Now, let's talk about control. By the virtue, as Dan says, of her not having to shop around and call around one broker from another, this gives her control where she's got all of her trades in one place. So in this scenario, she's quite happy with Infinity. She's going to click book, she's happy with the details, clicks accept trade, clicks on book, and that's it. She's just booked a trade. And it took her all of 60 seconds as opposed to 30 minutes or more shopping around. And we think this is so exciting. So she's got an email by now with a trade confirmation, but here she's got 2 steps to do. Firstly, that's to settle with Infinity, which she does with her online banking. Secondly, she's filling in the ultimate recipient in Spain. So here she's setting the recipient as Jane Smith, sending the full amount for the reason of salaries, and she saves these payments. And that's it. She's just compared brokers, booked a trade, and set beneficiaries. So we hope this shows you how we're looking to improve the transparency, access, and ultimately control for the SMEs in the foreign exchange payment space.
And there's a lot more features of the platform that we'd love to show you, including the ability to add new recipients, as easy as it is to upload a Skype contact online, to get more brokers bidding to win your business and the process behind that, and much more. I guess even more reason to come along and see us. So just to round off, we're just simply trying to democratize what the big guys have. You know, the BPs, the Shells, the Adidases. Why can't the average importer like Aviva, the average SME, have the same access as the big guys to a price feed aggregation solution? Because ultimately, you know, it's not in Stefan or mine or any of the brokers out there or the bank's hands. Aviva now in 2014 has control with who she trades with, at what time, and at what rate. And that's the key message here of transparency, access, and control. So we'd be delighted to invite you to our booth for a personal demo. We really want to meet with potential early adopters of the platform, with members of the press, with investors, and anyone who really wants to feel that they can help and be part of our mission to fight for a fairer and cheaper deal on business foreign exchange. We're CurrencyTransfer.com, and on behalf of Aviva, who works in our Tel Aviv office, Stefan and myself, thank you so much for listening to us.
Thank you, guys.